That's the best way, yes. There's no easy way, so just have to.
We think the Epsilon building is vital to Skynode.
In what way?
So, a lot has happened over the last, week. We were given something of I want to say, a breadcrumb by Brian Knight. And then, I think he probably underestimated a little bit of the information we already had. And, essentially, we picked up the investigation from the breadcrumb and we started to unravel things very quickly in the space of a week or so. Nora, I don't know if you want to start with your cameras.
Eliza has seen the map already with
Yeah, but we found a lot
some
more
of the
since then.
cameras. Since I shown you that map, we found a lot more in new places. And not only that, the ones at the new Epsilon building have multiplied by 4. There's around 32 cameras right now outside the new Epsilon building.
Okay, watching the building or
In and
pointed
out.
outwards?
Both.
In and out.
In and out. Oh.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
we know there are 5 organisations directly connected. The Faceless, Nest, Wolf, Nexus and Co, and Epsilon. And we were thinking of it kind of like a heat map. We were putting together, places everybody has been seen. Everybody is focused on the Epsilon, but the only people that have been seen there are the Faceless and their assets, and an occasional visit from me. The Epsilon building has had 4 of the 5 inside. So in terms of places of importance, it appears that it's absolutely red hot. It is the only place in the city where that many of them have been seen, as far as we know. Then we get to something you've said previously, which is that you've heard Charlie say he was going to go and work on the roof.
The rooftop, yeah.
He said the same thing when Brian Knight was on his undercover operation inside the building. And Blake Cole tipped us off that something new had appeared on top of the Epsilon roof. So we went to go and have a look, and there's an antenna and there's satellites, and we were able to picture Charlie working on them.
Brian Knight called me. He was asking me where there would be a server room when he was investigating inside of the building. I know.
I'm guessing, yeah.
Under Chris Formage, way back in the day, they had like a huge server set, but I thought most of it got demolished during the remodeling and the, ceiling of the building. There are a couple of areas that, even when I was gifted the building, I still wasn't able to access. There is a storage area on the rooftop of the Epsilon building that I simply figured that the lock was, broken, I couldn't get into. That could feasibly be a place where they're storing things, especially with the paranoid amount of cameras and, spyware and satellites and security, apparatuses that the building already had.
Yep.
So it was the building. Okay.
And something we noticed accidentally, we were, the road next to it, and you go up the hill and there's the Bean Machine coffee shop.
Yes.
We were stood there, just taking pictures of the Epsilon building, and it was there that we noticed between the skyscrapers, the observatory is in direct line of sight of the Epsilon building.
There's a lot of, yeah. There's
So,
quite a few notable buildings that are in basically direct eye line if you stand in the right spots.
yeah, if that jammer was blocking Skynode, it would be in reach.
So the two most protected areas of the city for Charlie's cameras, number one is the Epsilon building, and number two is the huge radio tower behind the Vinewood sign. Now, concerningly, since we've kind of discovered this information, Nora's noticed these satellites have literally multiplied by the dozen all over the city, everywhere. Almost like they are ramping up towards something.
Yep.
It's interesting. Alfonso said something a little similar earlier. He told me about the observatory getting blown up and something happening at Life Invader. I think I might have to have a chat with him to see where his perspection of ramping up is coming from. Interesting.
Yeah, they are. They're all over the place, and we know for a fact that Charlie's been working on them because we've seen it with our own eyes and got evidence of it.
Yeah.
Okay.
It took us back as we were thinking about everything. It took us all the way back to that book you were given. It said,
Yes.
I think along the lines of when the curtain draws or is pulled up, we hope you'll see the stage we set for you.
Yeah.
I think everything with them has more than one meaning. They always say look for the triple. In my opinion, Eliza, I'll tell you my hypothesis. Could be wrong, but with everything we've got, this is what makes the most sense in my head. We know somehow the Epsilon program is connected. My theory at the moment is if they were to just operate Skynode, or whether that is the initial receiver of Skynode and it's somewhere else, if they were to just operate that building with nobody living in it, it would raise eyebrows. Once they saw what you were doing with New Epsilon, they brought you in. It would explain why you were given a white card, because you were in the most important building to them that we're aware of in this city. And the stage that was set for you was the Epsilon building. We haven't actually seen what it's capable of yet. But also in the double meaning, that stage could be this entire city. My worry is that maybe you and the New Epsilon kind of gave that building legitimacy. You'd be in there, show that people were working there, nobody would raise an eyebrow. People were living there. And now, obviously Diego being there now as well.
Ashton's there. He's the one I gave the building to, really hoping he would prove me wrong. Because I really want to give people the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah.
I think I made a huge mistake.
So, I have to be honest with you, Eliza. There's been times during this past 10 days where I have doubted you. The thing I cannot wrap my head around is from my own experience with Charlie. Like, he basically fucking terrorizes me on a daily basis. yesterday was the first time again, maybe in like a week, that he has not contacted me. And yet, he doesn't seem to be bothering you. When I look at that book you were given, that was kind of when the light bulb went off in my head of how things have maybe been working. The hypothesis that they needed you because you were so brilliant at what you did with New Epsilon. But yeah, I just wanted to be transparent with you and say at some point this last 10 days, this whole thing has made me doubt everybody.
Yeah, I don't blame you. I've been upon this whole time. And the very thing I was hoping to redeem and save. To create some good out of something that was bad.
Oh, poor Eliza. Frank is just the bearer of bad news, man.
Ultimately ended up being in service of people who seek to lie, cheat, steal, and murder. The exact things that I professed that New Epsilon wasn't about. Well, I guess in a sick and fucked up way, everyone was right, huh? It's laughable, isn't it? It's kind of funny. Everyone was right. Everyone. Why should Charlie be worried about me? I'm just, I don't do anything of my own volition. I'm just a pawn piece that is slid from spot to spot, depending on what more powerful people can dangle in front of me like a carrot. What threat do I actually pose to them? Because if I speak, very few people believe me. And if I raise my arm to try to do some damage, my aim is faulty. Fuck, I'm sorry. Thank you for telling me.
I'm so sorry.
You don't have to be sorry for anything, Eliza.
It's just what I do.
Yeah.
What it's worth, I think New Epsilon was the exact opposite, Eliza.
Well, in a blind leap of faith, because I was desperately hoping that I had put my trust in the right people, I realized that I had put it in the hands of the exact people that are going to play along and escalate and take what they can from it. Sorry, 1 second.
Okay.
CJ, yes. I am in an interview with the City Chronicle right now. They're asking about alien attacks. Indeed. I'll speak to you soon. I'm sorry that he has been... There is a small part of me, I think, 2 weeks ago that would have been very hurt by you saying that you doubt me. But I understand wholeheartedly. Because you two, Frank and Nora, have been put through the ringer an inordinate amount compared to the many others that would so blithely defy the will of these people.
I know. You, truth is, Eliza, I think of my own wrongdoings, I might have come to these conclusions earlier, but with regards to you, I trust you so much, I've never even wanted to question anything. In all honesty, it was only questioning you that actually led to this point. I've not even wanted to look into a new Epsilon properly because of all the history there. And hopefully I might be wrong, but I'll be honest, the evidence is screaming that we're right.
You know, there's a tenet in Epsilonism. A tract of the ninth paradigm, in fact. To doubt another person is to wish death upon them. For doubting, in that moment, you kill that person's intent in the moment and don't acknowledge the reality of the situation. I've been thinking on this one quite long and hard as of late. Because on one hand, you could interpret it as wanting to see the best in people and giving them the benefit of the doubt. Not simply think ill of someone and then not look further into it. But I think the more straightforward way to look at it is that the second that you stop yourself from doubting, you stop yourself from asking questions. And isn't the pursuit of knowledge the most noble pursuit of all?
Yeah.
Now I understand why they had all those radio broadcasts basically complimenting me and saying how New Epsilon has been doing a good job and Eliza has been doing a good job. They could see how doubtful and anxious and disheartened I was. So that was quite literally them jangling keys in front of my face to keep me going. Because if I dropped it, who else was going to pick up the mantle for them to hide behind?
I think, Eliza, a much lesser person would have stuck around, but you took the courage to come up here and do something new. Maybe that was your conscience telling you something was wrong, you know?
I will say that was a part of it. I couldn't, in good faith, continue to try to push or work on something that, A, it felt like most of the city didn't really care about, and B, I didn't know where, I didn't know why, and I suppose now to some degree I do. But it almost felt like I could feel an unseen hand guiding me by the shoulders in different directions, and it made me uneasy. But don't mistake that for me